star power on that graphic that's right behind me, highlighting our doubleheader blockbuster here on ESPN, are these gentlemen on set with me. We have NBA champ Kendrick Perkins. We have the Hall of Famer, the legend, making his return for one day only to NBA Countdown. Brian Windhorst, our senior writer. I'm Malika Andrews, and we, gentlemen, just watched the Golden State Valkyries lay what they hope to be a championship foundation for their future. And while their Chase Center companions, the Golden State Warriors, they're trying to expand their championship window as long into the future as they can. So for more on what exactly that means, let's welcome in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, Golden State officially in the second quarter here of their NBA season, but Steph unofficially in the final quarter maybe of his NBA career. So what are the Warriors doing to ensure that they can continue to put their franchise superstar in a position to contend?
Malika, I'm told that the Warriors are on a hunt or draft or whatever you want to call it. They want to find that next star, a new star with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, a playmaker, a scorer. And we saw them in the offseason go pursue Lowry Markkanen in a trade with Utah Jazz. We saw them pitch Paul George as a free agent with the Clippers. But the debate internally there, and as teams monitor the Warriors over the next few weeks, are will that player come from the trade market externally or from within, in-house, a player like Jonathan Kuminga? And we saw last night 33 points in 30 minutes, the first time he played 30 minutes in a game, and we've seen his output increase as his role in minutes elevate. But it's going to be interesting to see with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green back in the lineup tonight, and the dynamic between Jonathan Kuminga and Steve Kerr, the relationship. That's something that Warriors officials, I'm told, have also been monitoring over the last year or so. But they are trying to figure out this next phase to get another championship with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. Yeah,
33 points last night was a career high for Jonathan Kuminga. Shams, thank you so very much. So, Perk, when you hear all of that, just how aggressive do you think Golden State should be in looking to upgrade their roster?
You ever seen me at Thanksgiving? You ever seen how aggressive I am at that table? That's how aggressive they need to be, right? And look, I'm looking at this Golden State team right now. Do I like them? Yes. Is they ceiling second round, first round? Yes. I want to love them. And in order for me to love them, they have to be championship contenders. And as long as you have Stephen Curry, you got to do every single thing in your power to surround him with the necessary pieces to be a championship contender.
That doesn't mean draft picks. It doesn't mean guys who are in their second and third year. Steph and Draymond are in their mid-30s. We're not talking about guys who are 30, 31, approaching with a long runway. We're talking about guys who want to, I'm sure, win now. I mean, you know, this is a team you follow very closely. They do things big. When you've won 4 championships, the only way to get bigger is to put the best, shiniest, brightest, most substantive piece you can put on that team. And guess what? If that guy happens to be playing for a team that isn't any good, a few hundred miles south, isn't any good, and going nowhere this year, and he's even older than Steph and Draymond, and we just saw him play in the Olympics, Brian Windhorst did, and I know he loved it because he sat there and watched it live. We just saw them play together. I'm sorry, this is an easy answer. Elbow me if I'm wrong about this.
I wouldn't elbow you if you was wrong with my life, because I love you too much, but you're right. This is
LeBron James.
But where I don't know if you are right is that that's an easy answer.
There's no easy,
because it's just not that simple.
Nothing good is ever easy. Anything good or great is difficult. So this has to be carefully, skillfully done. And our dear friend to the right, Mr. Windhorst, is going to tell us how that can happen.
I'm very interested in all this. Like, I would be lying if I said that there isn't been some conversations in the league. Would LeBron at some point this year, revisit that? Because you remember last year at the trade deadline, the Warriors called. But I just want to say a couple things. First off, any trade that the Warriors make is going to be complicated. They have only $500,000 that they're allowed to spend more in this season. It's first, second apron stuff. I know it's boring. Any trade that they make, they really can't take on more money. Guess what? The Lakers are not allowed to take on any money because they're in the first apron. So it's possible if LeBron wanted it. Also, LeBron has a no trade clause. Also, the Lakers don't own their first round pick. It goes unprotected to the Atlanta Hawks, who they're playing tonight. The Hawks, I think, are going to try extra hard to beat them. So I would just say that twice in the last 10 months, LeBron has had an opportunity to leave the Lakers. One, at the trade deadline last year when the Warriors called, the Lakers went to LeBron and said, do you seriously want to get traded? He said, no. Last summer, he became a free agent. He re-signed with the Lakers. I understand what you're saying, Wilbon, that you don't think that the Lakers are going anywhere this year, but LeBron has repeatedly made it clear he wants to be a Laker. And if that's the case, he's got a no-trade clause. There's nothing really to talk about.
But, Wendy, how many chances is LeBron James going to give Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka to get something done? He took a pay cut for them to get something done. They still haven't got off their behinds and did
knew
nothing.
Exactly what the roster was going to be, and he said,
but
I
now
will
it's
sign
the reality
for 3
of
more
it, Brian. It's not guessing or projecting. He's in it. They're not any good. So LeBron's just going to ride it out with this group when he could. And by the way, the no trade is nothing. You're not going to do it if LeBron doesn't want to do it. He's going to have to drive this.
Your point is excellent. His actions say, I want to be a Laker.
Well, I guess for now, we wait, but I don't see that happening. Still ahead, we have a pair of birthdays. Did you know this in Boston for the Bucks and the Celtics? Giannis turns 30 today, but also Deuce Tatum, he turns 7.
Nice.
Candles, balloons aside, who will unwrap
We got more
the
to this story.
Almost dropped the cake. Oh, my God. I almost had a big...
The Milwaukee Bucks, they're in Boston tonight for the first game of our doubleheader. So let's just flash back the last time these two teams squared off. Remember this? After getting whistled for an offensive foul, Giannis offered his hand to Brown and then did the too slow. Brown then called Antetokounmpo a child in his post-game presser after the Celtics win. So this should be fun tonight, right? Since that meeting on November 10th, both the Celtics and the Bucks, they're 9-2, tied with each other for the second best record over that span. Only the Magic have a better record. So there is a lot to dive into in this matchup. Let's get out and run, shall we? It is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. And let's start with the birthday boy, Giannis, because the two-time MVP, averaging career highs in points, assists, field goal percentage, perk. Has his play been enough to maybe calm some of your early concerns that you voiced on Milwaukee?
Well, just a little bit, for the simple fact that I believe Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the world, and we know that he's going to put up points. We know he's going to clean up the glass like a fresh bottle of Windex. It's the assists for me. It's the dimes. It's making guys around him better. It's the growth in that area. Right now, he's leading his team not only physically, but emotionally. I like this version of Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Well, I mean, despite how good Giannis has been, career high in assists, it's Jason Tatum, who's the only player in the league that leads his team points, rebounds, assists, steals, and threes per game. So, Mr. Wilbon, do you expect him to be the best player on the floor tonight?
I think he'll be the best player on the floor. That doesn't guarantee anything, of course, Malika, because you got a tag team of wings, great wings who wear championship rings as well on the other side. Best player on the floor, yes. Best result from this game?
Interesting. All right, a player that I know I'm going to be watching closely is Chris Middleton, right? He is making his season debut. Ryan, what would a successful night look like for him?
By the way, Malika, 9 regular season games that Dame, Giannis, and Middleton have played in. That's it. We've just almost never seen this. I don't know how much Middleton's going to play tonight. He obviously hasn't played all year, coming back from that ankle surgery. But not necessarily tonight. At some point this year, we have to see whether Middleton can be a factor on the defensive end in a potential series against the Celtics. Tonight will give us maybe just a little peek.
Chris Middleton tonight is slated to be coming off of the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks. You mentioned it, those 9 games. It adds up to, since the first time, them sharing the floor since last April, since Doc Rivers became head coach, they've played in just 13% of the team's games together. But that doesn't mean the Bucks' big three hasn't had time to bond in other ways off the floor. Case in point, a little visit from Oz, the mentalist. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster for both the Golden State Warriors this season as well as the Minnesota Timberwolves. But the Timberwolves, they're on a 3-game winning streak right now, Brian. And their last 2 games, they've held opponents to under 80 points. What have they figured out?
Yeah, I was with them earlier this week when they were here in L.A. playing the Clippers, who they blew out. They've blown out the last couple opponents, actually. And, you know, they were talking about, remember a couple weeks ago when Ant kind of called out the team?
Yeah.
Called them out. Aggressively called them out for, like, not getting it done. They really like that because they know he wants to be a leader, but it's one thing to lead when you're ahead. It's another thing to lead when you're calling out your team and being, critical. And they think that the team has really reacted well. They actually believe that that was a crucial moment for them. And over these last couple of games, their defensive intensity has been vastly improved. Watch tonight when they're in the Chase Center. Watch to see how much they are aggressive in moving bodies on the defensive end. That will tell you whether they're locked in or not on defense.
So what are you expecting from Steph Curry then? We expect him and Draymond Green to both be back after missing the last game.
One, I'm worried about this whole both knees. I mean, when you just hear
Bilateral knee tendonitis for Steph, yep.
Wow. So you want to see how, I'm not expecting to be Steph, but I just worry about that. One quick note on Ant, though. The Timberwolves are really being patient with him because they realize he's still, what is he, 22? And they see this coming, and there's no real push because they see it coming organically. It wasn't suggested to him, and Brian knows this, he was around him all week. It wasn't suggested to him. Nobody was in his ear. He's taking this on and doing it on his own, and they're like, okay, just hold on. And they expected this to take some time this season, and it seems to be coming in right about now.
When I look at these two teams, it comes down to who do I trust more out of the two duos, right? Do I trust Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle or Draymond Green and Steph Curry? Mr. Watley, who's my oldest son karate teacher, he always said, my mind controls my body. Okay, and when you think about the Golden State mentality, the leadership, that's at another level, a different level. And it's not that I don't trust Anthony Edwards. I don't trust Julius Randle, right? But Draymond Green, Steph Curry, their leadership this year, they playing with a chip on their shoulder. Although their team has been struggling over the last week and a half, they still been playing some inspiring basketball overall this season, and it's because of the mentality of those champions that are over there.
But to give Julius credit, I mean, him and Nasri, the issue was when Rudy was off the floor, those two defensively was an issue for them. And they have started to figure that out. Julius Randle has put in that work. And against the Clippers, it was really Julius who got that game started. So we've seen some improvements there. Didn't need to from Giannis. He's having a career season.
Best player in the league.
He's attacking the paint like